So thank you guys for being on our team Zoom. And if you're watching the recording later, thanks for watching it. Please go along with what we're doing in this. This Zoom is all about seeing your future self and taking the steps that you need to become that person. Oh gosh, this is about vision. And you got to understand that what you want in the future, you have to see it right now and start to act as if you are that person. And I'm just so passionate about it because this is the kind of stuff, without me even realizing it for a long time, that has completely changed me. If you guys know anything of my story, it was mediocre, negative, middle of my high school class, middle of the dance formation, just skating by. And personal development and this stuff and starting to see myself as a more successful person has completely changed the game. And this is the stuff that 9 out of 10 people never do. And so they never end up, they just have dreams that never become reality, or they don't even dream. Forget what it was. I feel I was just watching something the other day, or I think it was Rob Dial, who has been doing a lot of stuff for the team, who said, I'm so sad when people don't dream. When I hear about people not dreaming, it's so sad. I didn't dream for a long time. What was the point? But as coaches, it's so much more this is working on yourself to inspire other people. So tonight we're going to be talking about that future you, seeing it clearly, and then creating a plan to help you get there. Because I'm all about the action, for sure. So step number 1 here is to have the vision. So I'm actually going to play a video, and it's a 10-minute video, but it's a good video. So I just want you to watch it. And I say that because I have a limited patience. So the fact that we're going to watch a 10-minute video might shock some of you, but it's good. And it's a TED Talk, which always rock. And I want you to really pay attention to this, because then we're going to do what this lady shares. So Pam, can you hear it? Well, it's nothing right now, but.
Maya Angelou once said, a solitary fantasy can transform a million realities. What dream or vision do you want to turn into reality? I always wanted to go into business for myself. I could be a consultant. I'm going to go gluten-free right after I eat that last piece of chocolate cake. One day I'm going to stand up to that crabby boss. I look good on paper. I should feel great. I just know there's more. You know it because you feel it. You lie awake at night. You talk about your dreams with your partner and your friends, but more often than not, you continue to do those same behaviors that keep you from making the change. You ask yourself, how can I make it happen? Research shows the odds against you making a change in your life, 9 to 1. 9 to 1, even if you're facing a life-threatening illness. But let me show you how to beat those odds. You can live the life you desire. It's right there in front of you. But in order to achieve it, you must first see it, then believe it, and then you must graciously ask and train your brain to help you execute your vision. So how do we see our vision? Through a picture. A picture can create movements. A picture can unite nations. A picture can pull at your heart and fill you with a deep desire to do something. At Roche Pharmaceutical, the president asked us to create a picture of his vision. Prior to having one, less than 40% of the employees understood the company's vision and strategy. After seeing this picture, 96% understood it. And 84% understood how what they did every day aligned to that picture. So how can you use a picture to get what you want? By simply drawing one. You don't have to be an artist or know how to draw. As naive as your drawings might be, when you draw where you are, your current state, and where you want to be, your desired new reality, suddenly you have a roadmap for change. So what is your current state? Well, let's say you're Joe. Joe has a good job. Joe has a lovely wife, Amy. Joe makes good money, but like many of us, Joe wants more from life. And he'd like to get rid of a couple of things. Maybe that intense workload. Maybe that negative boss. Maybe Joe has a higher purpose. He's just not sure how to get there. So now, Joe's current state is visual. We remember things better when they're attached to a picture. 65% better, to be exact. So now, let's imagine that Joe wants to change something in his current state. He wants to build that desired new reality that he dreams about. In order for Joe to freely dream, he must first trick his brain. Because the left side of your brain, as you know, houses the critic, who is forever trying to keep you safe from harm. Make sure you don't do anything dangerous or stupid. So let's have Joe tell the critic that he's just going to use his imagination. Using your imagination activates the right side of your brain, which makes you creative and filled with possibility. So now let's dream Joe's new life. In the best case scenario, 1 year from today, what is Joe's life like? Hey, Joe has a new job. All right. Joe has a new boss, himself. Joe has a couple of great collaborators, and Joe is just bursting with creativity and ideas and all of those things we dream about. Connection and purpose and freedom and love. Now, I'm drawing this picture as a favor to Joe today, but in real life, he'd have to draw his own picture because he can't afford me. Actually, because you get the most power when you paint your own picture. So now Joe has his drawing. So now he's got to soak it in. He has to fill it with color. He has to fill it with emotion. He has to get inside of it, as if he's on the inside looking out. Your brain actually emits serotonin and oxytocin when you draw and dream. So you feel happy, capable, creative. You feel cool. So now we have Joe's current state and Joe's desired new reality. So how can Joe get from here to there in just 3 bold steps? 3 bold steps. If I knew how to get from here to there in 3 bold steps, I would have done it 25 years ago when I had a mullet. Here's where the magic begins. Your brain knows you. It's cataloged everything you've ever seen, heard, experienced, real or imagined. You just have to ask it to put the pieces together for you. It's as simple as that. We live in a 3-dimensional world, but the light falls on the retina in a 2-dimensional fashion, and the brain, it has to cope with it. So how does it deal with this extra dimension? It guesses. It guesses. And just as it can guess where your cup of coffee is when it goes to pick it up, it can correctly guess what the 3 bold steps are that you should take. All you have to do is look at your picture and then close your eyes. This allows the brain to recycle what it sees and reconstruct it, add to it everything you've ever seen, heard, experienced, or fantasized about. And then it will serve you up with the best possible solution. If you just relax and you ask it, now what's the boldest thing I could do to get from here to there? Boom, immediately it will tell you. See it? Believe it. Act on it. Now, the danger is, if any of those 3 bold steps are too scary, this instinctual, rational side of your brain is going to try to talk you out of this. Oh, no. I don't want to do that. Oh, that desk, it's not too small. My legs aren't cramped under there. Oh, $20,000 a year. Oh, that's a decent salary. Oh, that boss, he's not that mean to me. You know what? I'm just going to stay right here. I feel really comfortable here. So how can you get yourself to do the boldest thing? By drawing the most compelling picture. So when you look here, you're in pain. It hurts. And when you're here, you're ecstatic. It's fantastic. You're already living inside that connected and free life you drew. So every day you get up, you soak in your picture, you step into the possibility, and this is the most important part, you act on it. You do one small thing. You call up that friend you know who started her own business. You ask her, how'd you do it? You ask Amy, will you support me in my vision? You go to your boss and you ask him for a raise. And you become that one person out of 10 to make change happen. Now, I put this template on your chair so that you could do for yourself what I just did for Joe. You've seen some fantastic ideas today that have inspired your dream. I dare you to draw that dream into that template. I double dare you to choose a symbol in your drawing that represents that desired new reality. Take a picture of it with your phone and send it to us at TEDx Rainier. Maya Angelou said, a solitary fantasy can transform 1,000,000 realities. Just 3 bold steps can transform one reality, yours. Thank you.
Awesome. You guys have heard this one way or another, maybe millions of different ways, like affirmations, personal development, picture yourself. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Whatever that might be. And this is that exactly. Like if you want to get that change, you have to see what that future person is. You have to know. So I want to give you some time right now to actually take some action on this because, so many times, and I've been there, we can learn something and it's like, oh, I can't wait to do this. And then it just doesn't happen. The magic can start to fade away, the momentum, the motivation. I think that's crazy that she said the odds are 9 to 1. Out of every 10 people, 9 of them will never make change. And we're change makers. Your odds are already better because you're a coach and you're surrounded by people who do this stuff and it's cool. But we're also trying to spread that to other people. So I'm going to play some music. I want you to take 3 minutes, draw your current state. And remember she said, make it compelling so that when we take another minute or another 3 minutes here and draw what your desired state's going to be, you're like, I just want to get over there. Okay? So take a few minutes, current state. And yes, I'd love to put on some mood music for you. So. Okay, hopefully you got some good stuff going. My drawing skills are not the greatest. I think I got the point across here. So now we're going to go ahead and I want you to dream. Do not let assumptions or doubts, fears, any of that stuff creep in right now. Okay, go to the stuff that you think about and you might just shut down. Put it down there. Just draw your current state and let yourself dream. Okay, that's where we're going now. Okay. Hopefully that gave you a start. You can go back in. Maybe you fill it in with color, all that stuff like she did in the video. But like, hopefully that was fun. I felt like I could have just kept adding and adding to it. So here's what I want to do now. Think about what she said in the video. You got to see it. You got to believe it. You got to act on it. I think that seeing it is something we all got. We're not scared to go there, hopefully, and we can see it. I think believing it is a little bit more of a challenge, and then acting on it is obviously the hardest for most people. So I want you to just take your sheet of paper, flip it over, and start writing, like, just relax, let your brain do the work. What's the first thing that comes to your head? What needs to happen? It might be big. It might be like, you know, when I look at mine, it's like, I got to cut a big roll out of my life that I have right now. And that's really scary. But what are some steps I could start doing to start doing that? So flip that over and start writing some action. Hopefully you see it. What do you need to do to act on it, to believe it, that kind of stuff. I don't want to spend too much time there, but please feel free to go back to that and develop it a little bit more and start thinking about it. Maybe it comes to you like, I feel like every time you sleep on something, you wake up and you're like, ah, it's there. So that might be the case. Like this might be something that hopefully you're referring to as you go on. So listen, you are where you are in life right now because of the person who you are. That person in your dream life, you're not there yet because you're not that person yet. But you can be. You can be as you start to trick your brain. Like, doesn't it just seem so simple when it's laid out like that? You literally just have to trick your brain because, if you've read You Are a Badass, if you've listened to any of the Rob Dial stuff our team's been doing a lot lately, like your subconscious is driving the car, and you've got to start changing the way your subconscious thinks. And having this, your brain is complex but pretty simple at the same time too. Like having that vision, feeling it, seeing it, believing it will start to set things in motion that you don't even know are in motion yet, but you got to put yourself there. So you got to see this, you got to feel it, you got to believe it, and you got to be willing to trust your brain, start taking that action on it. So start acting as if you are that person. You have to have conviction. You have to have faith in yourself. Everyone who's been successful has gone through this. It's not just like someone rolls the dice and it's lucky for them. Everyone who has real fulfilling success, whatever that might be, yeah, we're all Beachbody coaches. I know we all want something from that, but it might be even more in life. They've got to go through this. They've got to have that faith in themselves. So act as if you are that person. Every time adversity hits, ask, how would that person handle it? Every time that stress starts to overwhelm you, how would that person start to overcome it? Every time there's joy, how would that person embrace it and really let themselves be in the moment with it instead of just brushing it off quickly? Every time there's a compliment, how would that person respond to it? Think as if you're that person. So hopefully so far this has been exciting and motivating for you to start going there. And of course, I'm all about action. So I want to share some goal setting steps for sure. So I'm reading this book. It's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It's by Robin Sharma. It's kind of cool personal development book because it's written like a fiction story, but it's not a fiction story. It's like a fable on his life. And I loved in here, he's sharing, this is the 5-step goal setting process he learned from monks over in India in the mountains kind of thing. So that's what I want to talk about here, and we can apply it to this dream life. We can apply it right away. Step 1, you have to have a clear vision of the outcome. Done. Hopefully. Maybe it changes over time. Maybe it grows more. Maybe it gets more clear. But that's step number 1. The book said, the simple act of picturing my goal would open the gateway to the actualization of this desire. This is step number 1 to getting there. And like she said in that video, that quote, a solitary idea or a solitary fantasy can create millions of amazing things. So sometimes the vision that we just created, it can feel like pressure. There's so many things that when you try to go outside of your comfort zone, it can feel like pressure. It can feel like stress. So you got to find a way to start looking at that pressure as a good thing. Not all pressure is bad. No one has ever achieved anything amazing without some serious pressure. When your back's up against the wall and you put something out there and you say you want to do this, like you act with greater inspiration, motivation, faith in yourself. You'll do things you probably wouldn't have done before in a good way, for sure. So start looking at pressure as something that's going to help you really cook yourself up to the bigger, better person. That pressure's got to be there. So that brings me to step number 2. Step number 2 in goal setting is to get yourself some pressure, some positive pressure. The book said, create positive pressure around your vision, and this will keep you inspired. He recommended making a public pledge. Like, how often do we do that with workouts? And I feel like we all got that down. Like, we're excited to do workouts. So many people aren't, but maybe that's something you could even help your challengers do. Sharing this lesson of, you got to have positive pressure for a goal to happen. You know, this could be something you could easily share in your challenge group, and getting them to share that on their wall instead of them just being accountable to you might help them show up more. With coaching or whatever your goal might be in life, share it. Maybe you're putting it out there in social media. Maybe you're sharing it with your sponsor. Maybe you're sharing it in our team page. Put it out there. Make that public pledge. Step number 3, never set a goal without attaching a timeline to it or committing it to paper. So kind of 2 things there. It has to have a timeline. You have to commit it to paper. It's funny, when we were writing down these action steps, I'm totally happy to share mine. I don't want to share it right now because it's being recorded, and I don't want anyone to freak out over it. But I'm thinking about this. I'm like, okay, I'm writing the steps. I'm like, I need to do this by this date. I need to do this by this date. Like, maybe some of these steps could have dates to them. Put it out there. That gets your conscious working in that right direction. And it's got to be committed to paper because it makes it real. You know, everything is created 2 times in this world. And the first time is like in your mind, you see it, you believe it, it's on paper, and then it's created in reality. Like, it starts right here. So you got to commit it to paper, and you got to actually give it real dates in the real world. When do you want this stuff to start happening? Okay, the book said, to breathe life into a goal, you must attach a precise deadline to it. And then also, most people have never taken the time to know their strengths, their weaknesses, their hopes, or their dreams. So true. This is kind of a separate lesson under this one that I thought was kind of cool. It said the Chinese define image in 3 terms. There are 3 mirrors that form a person's reflection. Number 1 is how they see themselves, so how you see yourselves. Number 2 is how others see you. And the 3rd is the truth. And that's self-awareness. And so we all want to look in that 3rd mirror. So many people don't have self-awareness. They're just going through the motions because they don't dream. They're just doing what they think life is. I shouldn't complain. I'm lucky. I just need to show up. I just need to do my job. You know, I don't need to do anything more. I don't need to read a book. So they're not looking in that 3rd mirror. We want to look in that 3rd mirror. Something else here that was talked about a ton was having, you know, we've done vision boards on this team. I've got a vision board as my screensaver on my computer. I have it hanging in my kitchen. My husband sees it. I see it all the time. Like, having that kind of vision. In the book, he talked about, like, take a journal and have separate sections for different areas of your life. You know, if you want to have this house, this amazing house on a river or a lake, like, cut out a picture of it, put it in that journal. If there's a piece of property you've been wanting to buy forever so your family can have hunting property or build a second home, put that picture in a journal. If you want to reach a certain rank in your business and have this amazing team that you've made this huge impact over, cut out a picture that means that to you, put it in that journal. Like, instead of just writing it, can you put visualization in it? Can you make it that clear? Can you make it that real? If you want to be an amazing spouse, have this amazing connected relationship, maybe you see a picture of that, cut it out, put it in that journal. When I think about my life, I think about, like, how I was naturally doing that when it came to, like, our house. You know, I think maybe there's certain areas that we could all look at and be like, I so do that in that area, because you were more comfortable believing in that area than maybe some other areas of your life. And I think about, like, when I was back in our 1,200 square foot house and we had 2 kids and tons of toys. And I just knew, I was, like, so confident, we're not staying in this house. We're going to start looking for a bigger house. We're going to be able to do it because I have faith in myself that we're going to be able to be affording a bigger house. I would drive down the street that I live on now all the time and just look at the houses and wonder which one would be mine, because I knew I wanted to live in this neighborhood. I knew I wanted to have, you know, the vibe of this neighborhood, which is more families, less traffic, bigger yards, you know, in-laws right down the street, bigger houses. When we finally picked out this house, I just was calm about it, and I knew this is going to be the house. It had horrible wallpaper and carpet, but I just knew I'm going to pay for a painter. I'm going to get new carpet. Like those things are just going to happen. Like I just saw it. And my husband would be like the whole time, you're crazy. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why are you spending more money? I just had faith that it was meant to happen. I just saw it, you know? And I'm like, gosh, I need to apply that in other areas of my life. Like what am I always struggling with? I need to start seeing it. So maybe that's something you want to do. Take your vision boards beyond that. Have a vision journal. When you see something that excites you, put that picture in there. Reference it, whatever that might be. Step number 4. You guys, I'm sure have heard this. They call it the magic rule of 21. 21 days to make a habit. How many times have you heard that? They also say, like, now I think it's like 66 days. Like there's other things kind of out there on it. Basically, consistency. That's what it means. You've got to consistently do it. You know, consistent. And to me, that means like, I think the easiest way to say it is like, can you consistently believe in yourself more than you doubt yourself? I think that's the simplest way to put it. Like, sure, if you're trying to like start working out or something, like get up and do it. Like actually stick with it. You know, if you're trying to eat healthier, like stop eating ice cream for 21 days or something like that. But like for us right here, can you consistently choose to believe in you? Can you consistently choose to keep your blinders on and not compare yourself to others? Can you consistently choose to be thankful and happy about what you have? Choose those things first. Step 5, and I love this, is to enjoy the process. That was not, when I was reading this and I'm like taking notes, I'm like, that was not what I expected step 5 to be. There's going to be like something bigger, like, and boom, there's your goal. No, step number 5 is enjoy the process. Make sure you have fun while you're on the path to advance your life. Remember your passion, your why, and your drive. And remember this, in this business, this is people. Remember the lives you're impacting, the power that your words have. Like it's such a responsibility and an honor. So I'm going to read a quote here that I liked from this book. It speaks to this remembering, you know, enjoying the process. It's all about passion. So the word I am speaking of is passion, and it is a word you must constantly keep at the forefront of your mind as you follow your mission and attain your goals. A burning sense of passion is the most potent fuel for your dreams. Here in our society, we have lost our passion. We do not do things because we love to do them. We do things because we feel we have to do them. This is a formula for misery. Yeah, it's not like tomorrow you can just stop doing everything you hate. That's probably going to cause a lot of chaos in your life. But you have the choice to start removing things that you don't like doing from your life if you're willing to keep believing that you can, whatever that might be. Got another video for you.
We have, as humans, we have something that no animal has. And what it's called is imagination. And what imagination allows you to do, it allows you to see it before it actually happens. What I mean by that is I need you to go 10 years into the future, 20 years into the future, and I need you to see yourself actually becoming the person you want to be. You got to live in the forward. Block the whole world out. Put some music on, some classical music, right? The piano, if you need to. I don't know what you need to listen to, but I want you to take 30 minutes. Go in the closet. Go in the basement. Go to the library. Go into a room alone. I want you to take 30 minutes, and I want you to imagine. I want you to take 30 minutes, and I want you to live in the forward. See, the problem is I'm talking to some of you guys. The problem that you're having is you're living in the future and you live in the present. And you keep talking about the mistakes. You keep talking about the past. You keep talking about your trials. You keep talking about your situation. And I want you to know that everybody that's ever been great, everybody has had an obstacle to overcome. They had a barrier that they had to climb. There is no individual who's ever reached success and he didn't have to go through an obstacle or a barrier to get there. I need you to live in the future. I need you to go in your future every single day. I need you to go in your future. I need you to see what you're going to be. Listen to me. What you are to be, you are now becoming. And so you got to use your imagination. And your imagination has to take you beyond the pain. Your imagination has to take you beyond the trouble. Your imagination has to take you to the next level. We had to see ourselves there long before it happened. The second tool is we got to embrace faith. I have to have faith to believe that the thing that I see 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that one day that thing is going to be successful. When I was homeless at 16, I could have quit. When I was homeless, I could have given up. There are many days that I thought about committing suicide. But I said to myself, just keep imagining, keep thinking, keep seeing what you're not now, but what you're going to be. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes you're going to look all around you and nowhere do you see success. Nowhere do you see anything that remotely looks like success. But you got to embrace. Number two, you got to embrace the faith. You got to believe that although it's not happening right now, if you keep pressing, if you keep pushing, guess what? One day is going to be your day. That's right. I need you to say that with me. One day is going to be your day. Embrace the faith. You got to be able to see it and believe it, that when there's no evidence around you, when there's no evidence around you, when you got pain in your life, when you're tired, you feel like giving up, and you feel like quitting. When you look around you, you don't see anything that looks anything like success. You got to embrace the faith and believe that one day going to be my day. That one day can't be your day if you give up. If you quit, no day will ever be your day.
I love those videos. That's the truth. People have faith in stuff that can be unproven sometimes, but they're willing to take that leap of faith. We have to have faith in ourselves. Like, you get to be in charge of your attitude, your reactions, your actions. Have faith in yourself. It can be hard. It can be scary. Trust is scary. But the best way to start building faith in yourself and trust in yourself is to start following through on what you say you're going to do. It could be something as small as eating clean for 5 days. That's not small for a lot of people. I shouldn't have said that. It can be something like that we're so used to. It could be completing a program. It could be reaching out to 3 people each day. Start to build the trust with yourself, and that faith will follow. You've got to see yourself in the future if you want something to change. 9 out of 10 people never get there. You can be that one person. Our team can change the odds, for sure. Go in the future. See yourself 10 years from now. Believe that that's going to happen. Take a step in that direction each day. I love, he says, talk about the future. How often do you have a challenger talking about the present, talking about the past? How often do you maybe have a coach on your team talking about the person who said they were going to sign up, but they didn't? Talk about the future. Don't let yourself get stuck in the stuff that was going on in the past or what's bothering you right now. Focus on the future. I love that. One day is going to be your day. If you quit believing in you, no day is ever going to be your day. At Leadership, Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, said, "I'm successful because I never quit." When he walks into the Beachbody headquarters each day, there's quotes he's just written all over the walls because he can, because he owns the place. And one of them is, "I'm successful because I never quit." I'm successful because I never quit. And I have faith that I'm not going to quit. That gives me like peace of mind in this business, peace of mind in myself. You have to hold on to the faith in you, even some days if you feel like you're holding on by straws. Just hold on. That counts. That counts. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be rainbows. It just, you have to keep believing in you, even when it's super tough. One last quote before we leave. Decide once and for all to be the master of your fate. Run your own race. Discover your calling, and you will start to experience the ecstasy of an inspired life. Finally, always remember that what lies behind you and what lies in front of you is nothing when compared to what lies within you. You guys are all so capable of anything you want. And it's just being willing to let yourself go there and trust in yourself. So, thank you for being on tonight. And I want this to not just be a Zoom. I want this to be something that you keep You hang up. Maybe you do it more and you go deeper. 3 minutes is kind of fast. So maybe you do more with it, but see that current state, see that dream life. You deserve it. There is enough success for everyone. Okay, there's no shortage of that. You're not skimping someone else if you go after your dreams. You're inspiring someone else to do the same. So never feel guilty about that. Go after it. Awesome. If you feel like sharing and making it public, I encourage you to share it tonight after I post the recording, a picture below. All right, you guys.